I will now say a little gently and perversely. There are no ideals and ideals. Even in heaven you can argue, but on a different level of understanding your needs than on earth. Even God is not perfect because he created souls who through freedom and opportunity produced evil. Although him at this point account, I justify him entirely. He could not have done otherwise to keep us free. Freedom is freedom and he respects that. What humans and angels have spoiled, they must themselves to repair, and in the soul, and in the universe as a community. There is no ideal, only ideas are ideal. I hope that they are a God, mother, partner, lover, eternal fairyland of happiness. Even for God you have to find justification, from yourself and from others. Words of Padre Pio. Of course, religions were founded by gods, aliens from the fallen sky. It is worth noting, we too are aliens in the cosmos. The fact, no religion, is not consistent in itself and in relation to other religions, whether scientific, philosophical theories of life. Just as the aliens, angels, what came out of the sky, are fighting for influence and areas in the galaxy, like politicians and leaders for the borders of our countries, so they fight over our views, thinking and beliefs. In a word, they fight for our souls to suck up to them. This energy is sustained further and perpetuated unnecessarily. Intelligence has it that the higher it is, it can be meaner. That's why super high beings from our cosmic worlds don't want to let go. But the only way for them not to manipulate us on our higher consciousness is unconditional love. They know about it, but do not apply it. That's why this utopian world still wrongly exists. Where there is a pure soul, one immediately senses it, and religious doctrines only falsify its image. I trust Christ, who was born on purpose in the worst nation of the world to impart knowledge and love. He partially succeeded. But civilization has manipulated almost 100% of his teachings. Only his 2 sentences about the love of God and man. Jesus did not establish any religion or sect, but only preached goodness and love to all, especially to the Jews. But they did not want to listen to him. Christian religions, an artificial creation together with their liturgies. Jesus did not build a single church, the words of Padre Pio. This proves something. He was all about the association of love, intellectual and spiritual. He even said, that it is you who are the temple of God, in which dwells love for all. The heavenly kingdom of goodness and love, dwells in our midst. But since there is already this church, of Jesus, made of bricks and baptism, it can be used in part for growth. But there is still much to change in it, to purge it of forms, shapes, dogmas, meaningless rules and stuck views. For me, the term gods means only one thing. Namely, they are beings who have violated the order of true love. In stories and myths they were called gods. As a result, they are all sorts of beings who impersonate the Supreme One and true God, such as the pharaohs, who ascribed divine attributes to themselves. There are, of course, many more examples. Among them are also aliens who arrived on our planet, and people paid homage to them, as gods or a god. And there is no need to be surprised by this, because that's the way life is. Unoriginal, far from the source. That's why it's so incredibly complicated. Someday it will be discovered to the end what kind of gods they are. The mind is, was and will be. For it is the stream of life. Speech, to be. Beyond it, is pure philosophy, but philosophy, precisely because of this mind. How can one not see a hole in a hole? A void within a void. To feel emptiness, you have to think. and pain is a story that happened completely unnecessarily. Pain was never in the plans of mind. That's why, from the heart, no one, neighbor or self, ever wishes suffering, but rather peace and love. This is such a heartfelt remnant after the unexpected occurrence of suffering. It happened to minds that thought that they could do everything, and that they remain unlimited in anything. This lack of humility before the inner mind generated suffering. Priests, yogis, also produce them, even then, and perhaps especially when they think that they have achieved nirvana and salvation. How much pride in this! Still, when I think of love, in my eyes the very illuminations. I see it where it can hardly be seen. The system has created a system that is falling apart. Positively elated, with humanism in our eyes, we admire the wonderful nature, animals, human love. But, if one looked into the world of animals more closely, he would see that there is a constant horror going on there. Power, domination, bloodshed. Well, but, this is what the Church does not see even today. It teaches that this world is ruled by God, and He made it beautiful. And I say, that no. The Church is wrong. I would add that the great ones in this Church knew this truth. But about the nuances between heaven and hell they are still silent. But when you get what Jesus deciphered only at the end of His life, you will be able to behead in many worlds you have never seen before. And you will be amazed at how wonderful it is. To the human eye, it could even be a scorcher. That's why only those who are mad with love for God can see it. Love is crazy, fast and violent, like a ray of light. It wants to have everything at once. There is nothing to surprise her. Such is its unfathomable divine nature. Let's hope I can keep up with her. I'm not surprised at Jesus when He understood this and said, "The kingdom of heaven suffers violence and violent men conquer it." Regarding our solar system, there is life in it, but only in one place besides our planet. It exists on one of the moons of Jupiter, where there is a lot of water. But it is a different life than on Earth. The words of Father Pio. It will soon be discovered. Love makes sense only in one case, when love sees the other love. Otherwise it will remain a lonely island not needed by anyone. This has bodily and spiritual expression. In different material worlds and in heaven the same. If, by some miracle, you were born on a beautiful planet and were on it exclusively alone, after time you would simply be very bored. Therefore, it occurred to me to my mind such a revealing thought, and at the same time a question: did God by any chance had the same problem? He made a decision and exploded his vitality so that something finally began to happen before his eyes. Focusing his eternal sexual energy, he emanated from himself independent angels, for fun and eternal companionship in the kingdom of heaven. This is why God is said to be love. In fact, only love is the best meditation. All methods, rules, styles of handling one's body, are only aids to a small value, really of little importance. Love, if it is not there, everything languishes, becomes unpleasant, even vicious. Without it follows grey, economic, philosophical, even biotechnological, unbearable life. Without the joy of existence, the source of which is a loving soul, we only manage to languish. Love fills everything and abolishes all laws. But how to apply it nowadays? Utopia of materialism constantly cuts off the wings of love, so that it cannot soar high and take root in every person. Materialism can be mitigated by seeing it after all, romantic beauty, capable of arousing feelings and emotions. Then we will overcome it, and we will bring to its surface the most beautiful feeling we have, love and adoration. But it takes effort and thinking in this direction.